A big change is coming to your walls with red, white, and blue savings now at the Home Depot. $10 off 1-gallon cans and $40 off 5-gallon buckets of our best interior and exterior paints. Even better, you'll also get a satisfaction guarantee. That's money in your pocket and confidence in your project. Come in now for our best prices of the season on paint, only at the Home Depot. More saving, more doing. Offer valid through July 4th via mail-in rebate. U.S. only. See store for details.
Welcome to Survive and Advance on the Grueling Truth Sports Network. Survive and Advance is brought to you by Replenishing Care, the future of sports medicine. Make sure you check out Replenishing Care by going to thegruelingtruth.net. Click on the banner. It'll take you right to the website. I'm your host for Survive and Advance, Mike Goodpaster. Right now, I want to welcome in my co-host. Won a national championship with Bob Knight, the Indiana Hoosiers in 1981. Number 34, Steve Risley. How you doing, Steve?
Morning, Mike. How you doing this morning?
I'm always great when I get to talk to you, Steve.
It's a glorious day in LA. It looks like LeBron is coming.
Oh, we'll see.
So, good move out of Cleveland unless you're going to LA for him. I think it presents everything he wants. You know, people also need to understand LeBron's gotten into movie or television production. He produced one of the big game shows, The Wall, I believe it was, or I think that was it. He's already executive produced that. He's gotten involved into TV and commercial production out here. It's kind of become a passion project for him. You know, LeBron's a very smart man. I mean, he's very well diverse in his investments and his financial standings. He's not somebody who carries a posse with him everywhere he goes. I think he overspends on his suits, quite frankly, but, you know, that's another story. So I personally don't see any benefit for him to go anywhere else other than Los Angeles if he's going to leave Cleveland. I mean, I know Oladipo's been on social media a bit, you know, trying to woo him to Indianapolis, but I just don't see Indianapolis, as much as I love that city, as a good fit for LeBron. So, you know, you never know what these guys are thinking. They're a lot smarter than we are. But I think the only reason he comes out here is because he's looking at his afterlife now, beyond basketball at this point in his career. So, I don't know. What do you think?
I mean, my question is Kawhi Leonard going to L.A.? Because last night there was a lot of rumors about a possible trade. Have you heard anything there?
You know, all of a sudden the fever turned up to LeBron almost immediately now when he reneged his free agency. I just started checking the wires in the local papers real quickly. I think that the Lakers have the money and the salary cap to get him if they want him, and if he wants to come and play. Because I'm going to tell you right now, if the Lakers are going to spend this kind of money, they're doing it to win a championship, right? They're not spending this money just to fill the Forum, because the Forum or the Spectrum or the Staples Center, because the Staples Center is filled anyway. So they're doing it solely to win a championship. And if he's offered the opportunity to come here and play with LeBron and with the Laker organization under Magic, and wants to win a ring, this is probably the best shot right now in the next 5 years for any young player, a talented player, to come here and probably almost guarantee a ring is going to be delivered to you in the next 4 or 5 years. And, you know, LeBron doesn't have a lot of time, but so Magic's going to make it happen quickly. I would predict within 3 years the Lakers are NBA champions. And the big hurdle there obviously is Golden State. Well,
Houston's a hurdle too.
I was getting there. I was getting Golden State and Houston are the hurdles, obviously, but I think Magic has the ability. Magic's like Larry Bird. And if you remember, Bird had such great success with the Pacers when he took them to the NBA championship against the Lakers. The thing about Magic and Larry are those two gentlemen command so much respect in the league that people don't screw with them. And people come here and know that they're talking to two of the greatest guys in basketball. And I think that anybody that had the opportunity to play alongside LeBron and play for Magic Johnson, you know, Luke or Walton becomes almost immaterial at this point in time. It's basically Magic's team. He's just not going to sit on the bench and do the substitution thing. But I think it would be ridiculous for a player of his stature to not want to join LeBron and come to the Lakers right now because, let's face it, the NBA wants the Lakers in this thing. It's the second biggest TV market in the United States, in the world probably. They want the Lakers back up on top. Showtime is a big part of saving the NBA, and they want it reborn. The NBA does. It's a golden opportunity right now for anybody. It's a good time. You got a lot of things going on out here. You got the World Cup coming. You got the Olympics coming to LA. It's just going to end up. LA's going to be a great sports city for the next 10 years, and certainly Showtime and the Lakers want to be a huge part of that. The sad part is it eliminates the Clippers.
Bryce, you there? Look at it. You got Paul George, Chris Paul, DeMarcus Cousins, among others that are free agents. And I would think this is something the Lakers need to get done pretty quickly because you get teams like Boston out there that I think would be a big deal here for LeBron. That's a team you could win. Bryce?
Hey, what's going on?
All right. Hey, we got Bryce Fields, NBA beat writer, who's going to join us to talk a little NBA draft as we have to transition here. Because we all know right now, since Mr. Boynton had some phone issues, that Steve's like completely freaking out right now, Bryce. Because he was really nervous before we started it. So I've seen.
Hey, Mike, or no, Bryce, let me ask you a question. Who's the better coach, Lombardi or Belichick?
Well,
one word answer.
Really
No, one word answer. One word answer.
Lombardi.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
I'm done.
We're going to ask somebody.
It's your show, Mike. Have at it.
We're going to ask somebody that is probably a Colts fan who's better.
Bryce, you are my hero.
Bryce, are you a Colts fan? Yes or no?
Yes.
Okay. That answers our question, and he's jealous because Belichick took all these Super Bowls. So is this a slam dunk with LeBron? He opted out of his contract with the Cavs today. Does this mean he's going to L.A., or do you think there's some other possibilities out there for LeBron?
Well, I definitely think there's a few other possibilities. The teams that, besides L.A. that he's been linked to have been Celtics, apparently the 76ers are trying to make a push for him, and then there's always a chance he returns to the Cavs. Here's what my guess would be, my judgment, is that he doesn't go to L.A. unless either Kawhi or Paul George are definitely there. There's been a lot of talks about that just last night, actually, that L.A.'s had better talks with San Antonio front office about being able to possibly make a deal for him. And then there's been some talk that Paul George might actually be leaning towards staying in OKC. But I think as far as LeBron going to the Lakers, he needs to have one of those two guys come first, so he can know he'll be playing with another solidified all-star.
Well, he's made that clear. He said basically he won't come unless they bring another A-list player alongside. Now, George opted out of his automatic re-up with Oklahoma, didn't he?
Yes,
he opted out yesterday.
He did.
So he opted out. So he's available.
Yes.
Kawhi, I think, is the better deal. I believe Kawhi will be signed by Sunday. I believe they will have him in a Lakers uniform taking publicity photos by Sunday.
Yeah, but
I just think Paul George
this isn't as easy as just giving him a big contract. You got to give the Spurs something they want. And the thing that makes me wonder here is a team that is loaded with talent, which we saw what they did with all the injuries last year and still won, are the Boston Celtics. I mean, if the Boston Celtics offer up something better than the L.A. Lakers and Kawhi is all of a sudden in Boston.
Here's what I believe on that, guys, is that I think right now the Celtics would be stupid to screw with their formula right now. I don't see LeBron being a positive addition to the Celtics. Stevens has built a team that he can coach that will take direction from him. LeBron comes in there, and as good a man as I think LeBron James is, as much of a basketball I think he has, I think he disrupts the flow of the Celtics. The Celtics are the most put-together basketball team in the NBA. They may not be the most talented, but I believe they're the most well put together. And I think if you start screwing with the chemistry, you're going to get Gordon Hayward back. You're going to get Kyrie Irving back. I don't think they need those guys. I really don't. I think they become disruptive to what the Celtics are going to do. They're already right now the best team in the East. And I think too many chefs are going to spoil the broth. Bryce, what do you think?
I don't know, because to me, LeBron's a guy that has no problem deferring to other players. So I don't really see Bryce where it really hurts him that much. And I don't think it ever hurts to have possibly the best player on your team. And I think this. I think if LeBron goes to a place where the head coach is as well respected by the rest of the team, that he may just fall in line there and figure, hell, maybe I can win 3 or 4 straight, and I don't have to hear this crap out Jordan won 6 and I won 3.
I go back to what we talked about, the lifestyle factor involved out here, what LeBron's interests are post-basketball. He's into production, television production. He's already produced TV shows, documentaries. It's out here is the heart and center of that. He's got offices out here. He's got businesses out here. He owns 2 homes out here now. I just don't – I think this is meant to be, and I think the Lakers probably want him worse than anybody else. And I just think the Lakers are going to do whatever they can right now to get him. Anywhere else, I just think LeBron should not – if he's going to go anywhere else, I don't think he should leave Cleveland. Cleveland's his home. I mean, it's his home. If he's not going to come out to here, I don't see the benefit of him going anywhere else. I don't.
Yeah, and when we look at the other player, because there's a lot of players here available, I mean –
right, there are.
I'm a Pacer fan. I know that Bryce hates the Pacers because he's a Bulls fan, which
hate the Pacers.
Which is only good for a decade. But the Pacers let go, Lance Stevenson. Doesn't mean they won't not bring him back. But what is? I hear the Pacers are interested in Aaron Gordon and Rodney Hood. What do you hear there?
Yeah, those have been the 2 biggest names they've been linked to. So for Aaron Gordon, he's a restricted free agent. So any offer that is given by any other team, the Magic can send a qualifying offer. And due to him being a restricted free agent, he has to come back to Orlando. So Aaron Gordon, especially during the season, he averaged close to 20 points, 8 rebounds, something like that this year. Had a decent year, a few injuries. He's looking for like 4 years, 80, closer to the max. And I don't think that's something the Pacers want to get themselves locked up into. Thad Young reports were saying that Thad Young was going to opt out, but then he just opted back in to become a Pacer. So they already have a solid power forward. I'm pretty sure I read that the Pacers were plus 5 points better than their opponents when Thad Young's on the floor, and they're minus 4 when he's off. So he's one of the glue guys. I'm not sure Aaron Gordon is someone they're really going to want to come in and mess with a lot of budget, mess with the flow. I mean, they took the Cavs, who went to the finals this year, to 7 games and were a few shots away from getting past them. I'm not sure that's someone they want to bring in. But Rodney Hood, I think, is a guy who, especially with Lance Stevenson, being out now, he might be back in the picture as we go into free agency and see where their money ends up getting tied up, where their money's tied up. But I think that Rodney Hood would be a good guy to come off the bench. He's a ball-dominant guy. He needs the ball in his hands when he's best. And he never got a chance to prove that in Cleveland. There were all the reports that he hated playing with LeBron and he just couldn't, he wasn't finding the minutes he wanted. But he's a guy who I think they could get for maybe a one year plus a team option year. They could get for cheap to come off the bench and be a primary scorer when someone like Oladipo is on the bench.
Yeah, and another guy I think is interesting is DeMarcus Cousins, who's a really good player, but he gets hurt halfway through the year, and the Pelicans actually played better without him. Do you think that Cousins is going to look to go elsewhere, and where do you see some good fits for him?
So, yes, DeMarcus Cousins, all-NBA guy. He's a 25-10 guy, and he has really the past couple of years developed his perimeter game, three-point shooter. They weren't last year, or when he came to New Orleans in the middle of the year, last year, it was kind of a surprise. It wasn't something that everyone was really looking at, matching up with Anthony Davis, which they played I think it was a little below 500 basketball, which, just those two on that team weren't really making anything dynamic. But then you're right, when he got injured towards the Achilles this year, Anthony Davis and Rondo, actually, that tandem made a playoff push and even won a series against the Blazers. So if I'm them, I know Cousins is a great talent and everything, but this is also Boogie's getting near 30 years old. This is going to be his last major contract. He's really going to be looking to cash in And if the Pelicans think that they're, a fringe, maybe we can get to the, add another guy, put someone next to Davis and get to the next spot. It obviously wasn't Cousins, so I think he should look elsewhere. And as for potential suitors, there's two places really that stick out to me. One has been Dallas, the Mavericks, who's been linked to a lot. Mark Cuban has made it very obvious that he wants a big guy in Dallas to center the team around, like he did with Dirk, basically. They've been linked to DeAndre Jordan, which I think that's kind of if we have to take somebody, take a contract and a guy who's going to help now. But I think they definitely have the money. They're not paying anybody anything over there because nothing's really going very well. So Boogie could definitely end up in Dallas. And the other one I think is the dark horse to get him would be the Washington Wizards. So the Wizards just made a trade this week, and they traded their starting center, Marcin Gortat, who solid center for the NBA, but not really the new type of guy. He's more of a bruiser. They traded him to the Los Angeles Clippers for Austin Rivers. So they added another guard to their backcourt and got rid of basically their primary big man besides Morris. And I'm thinking that they do have the money to be able to sign Boogie, and I think a big factor with that is he gets to play with his high school teammate college teammate John Wall, where they were when they played at Kentucky. So I'm thinking that the Wizards could be a big dark horse coming here in the next couple of days for make a push for DeMarcus Cousins.
All right, another guy that, and I know, Steve, maybe you want to address this. You talked about the Boston Celtics and how they had their team there. I think Boston's about to make a huge mistake if they let Marcus Smart get off that team. I think he's integral to their success without being one of their best players, if that makes any sense. But I think Smart could be a huge boon for a lot of other teams, especially young teams in need of a guy who's kind of a grinder and sets an example for the younger guys.
Yeah, I agree with you entirely. I think that he said Steve, Bryce. Okay, can I say one thing?
Oh, Bryce, come on. You weren't supposed to be on today. Just be happy.
NBA, you weren't supposed to be on the show, so you're third in line here, dude, okay?
I hear you.
I think that one of the things that the coach, what's the coach's name? I can't remember his name right now.
Stevens.
Brad Stevens does better than anybody. I think I'm getting old. He builds chemistry. He builds chemistry. And I think the Lakers have incredible chemistry right now. So to let any and all parts of it go, whether they are, I mean, when you have chemistry, you have everybody contributing to the team in a way that's positive. That's when you build your greatest chemistry. And I think the Lakers have probably some of the best chemistry right along with Houston and Golden State in the NBA right now, or the Celtics, I mean. And I think it'd be ridiculous to alter that roster very much. I just don't think they can improve. They might be able to improve the talent level, but I'm not sure the Celtics can improve the chemistry. And I say that LeBron definitely is going to improve the talent level to go to Boston, but is he going to improve the chemistry on that team? Do some of the players, as Kyrie, who already walked away from LeBron one time, now I'm right back in the same crap I'm in now. I'm unhappy. I didn't want to play with this guy. That's why I left Cleveland. Does Gordon Hayward say, hey, now I'm moving down to number 3 on the food chain? And then also you get a little bit of break in the chemistry. So I think that Ainge and
all right, guys, we've had some technical difficulties today. We apologize for. I want to thank Bryce for coming on. I want to thank Nick Boynton for attempting to. We will get Nick back on here. And Steve, you got any final thoughts?
No. Great show. We did determine that Lombardi was the greatest coach of all time. Bryce did confirm that, so I'm happy. I'm walking away happy. Other than I would love to talk to Nick.
Yeah, two Colts fans that hate Belichick have decided that he's not as good as Lombardi. All right, guys, we're going to go ahead and wrap this monstrosity of a show up. We'll be back Monday at noon. Hopefully all of the issues with the studio will be taken care of. I want to thank everybody for listening. They will be, or we'll just have to remove Steve from the show and replace him with Bryce because nothing bad happens when Bryce is here. All right.
I agree with that.
Thinking.
Remember, you can hear all of our shows on iHeartRadio, iTunes, TuneIn, Spreaker, Stitcher, wherever you find sports podcasts, you'll find The Grueling Truth. So for Bryce Fields, Steve Risley, I'm Mike Goodpaster. You've been listening to The Grueling Truth, where the legends get interrupted by bad studio service.